Don't stop believing. Alright, guys, we're back with the Mandalorian. It is, what's this called? Believer? I'm a believer? Something like that. The Believer. That is the name of this episode. And we kick off basically where we left off in the last episode. We need to find Bill Burr. We need to find the prisoner that Mando locked up in season 1, right? That's exactly what we need to do. And this is chapter 15. So, I mean, it is like literally like a decent while ago that actually happened, if we're being honest. But, you know, it is what it is. And due to him being a prisoner, June uses her new credentials in order to get him. And he's ex-Imperial, Big Mayfield. They get him, and then they basically have to use this guy. We have to get to this planet to locate Moff Gideon's cruiser, but you know, it's an internal terminal or something like that. And it's funny because when he sees Boba Fett, Mayfield, he thinks, oh, I thought I knew you, because he thought it was Mando, and then Mando just walks out through the ship. And he's like, for fuck's sake, I know you, pal. But, right, we just need to talk about the Mandalorian. Like, every episode feels like the same thing. Like, Mando does a task, and then for, like, these people, you know, and then he just moves on to the next, like, planet or the next island, or, you know, like the next universe or whatever the fuck you call these things in Star Wars. I mean, it is more planets, I guess. But it's like, it's so repetitive. Like, how can anyone actually say that this show, you know, is, like, brilliant? Like, oh, it's a 10 out of 10, this show. It's fucking must watch. Like, seeing you watch a TV show, there's deaths, there's a story, like, and this is, like, the storyline literally is just fucking day tasks, day jobs for people. It feels like you're watching GTA, but in a Star Wars universe. Like, it is. It's like fucking side missions, and then when they get to like the last 2 episodes, but even this episode didn't feel fucking that big time. You know, like they do like side missions to like the last couple of episodes, then we'll do something half decent. That literally is what it feels like. I can guarantee you, right? In episode 8, they're going to bring back Danny Glover for Carl Weathers. I mean, I'm hoping they are, but that's kind of like their only weapon they've got, you know. But I mean, this is probably as good as an episode of The Mandalorian's going to get. But Mayfield asks if he does this, can he be freed, essentially? Like, what's in it for him? And they're like, no, you're still going to be a prisoner. You know, which, I mean, I guess you can understand their point of view. Like, but this is a mighty task he's doing for them here. So, yeah, we've got Boba Fett, we've got the sniper, we've got Dune, we've got Mando, we've got Mayfield. We're going in here. But, of course, half of them, well, I say half of them, more or less all of them are going to be recognised by everyone inside. So Mando has to go in with Mayfield, but they have to dress up in the Stormtrooper attire, which was pretty funny because they're like, so you can't take off your mask, but you're going to, you know, take off your mask to dress as a Stormtrooper, which everyone was kind of like, well, Mayfield was more thinking about him that, but, you know, Mayfield was like MVP of this episode, and he was MVP of the other episode he was in, like, truly, man. The guy's really good, and I really hope this isn't the end for him in the show, but we'll get to that a bit later on in the episode. But they manage to hijack a transport, and then they get chased by pirates, but then like the rest of the stormtroopers like help them, and then there's like a hero's welcome when they arrive, which is pretty funny, but none of them is like recognizing Mayfield. But then when they go try and get into the terminal, he recognizes you know, what's the guy called, you know, I can't remember. It basically it was Mayfield's old commanding officer in the Imperial, but he doesn't recognize. Well, I don't think he recognizes him, to be honest. But basically, they have to sit down, and then what was good about this, you actually get to see Javier Pascal's face, you know, because he has to take off the mask, which was pretty good in order to access the terminal. So I liked this. I did. And then we see Mayfield like seeing Mando's face, which I thought this was a pretty good scene. And then we get the commanding officer basically bragging about all the atrocities that they committed in Operation Cinder, and that kind of like triggers something in Mayfield. So I don't know if he lost family or something in that, or like he seriously regrets doing that or whatever. But yeah, then he basically just shoots him out of nowhere. A really badass scene. And then like we get into a shootout. They manage to get to the roof. They get picked up by Boba Fett. It's all good because they're going to get the location of thingy, what do you call him, Moff Gideon, and then like they send a message at the end. But then we get the scene where like they release Mayfield, they let him go free. They'll just try and claim that he died in the refinery, which is nice of them. But see, at the end of the day, see, they want to help and like shit this guy went through this episode to help them. I think this was justified, to be honest. And you know, like even though he seemed like a heel in season 1, he definitely, you know, did well in this episode, and he came on more across as like a good guy. But yeah, so the message has been sent to Moff Gideon. Will they get Grogu back? The green, wee baby Yoda. Will they get him back in it in the season 2 finale? Who knows? Season 3 is confirmed. I mean, I've started the show, so I'll probably just review it as well, but I'm not exactly buzzing for it, guys. But anyway, leave your thoughts down below, and peace.